Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. Uh, Today I thought we'd do, since I couldn't decide up until last night, which I think if you actually watched all the way through yesterday's video on the angel chicken, crockpot angel chicken, which I hope you try that recipe. It's phenomenal. We're going to do some brownies. They're quick and easy. Brownies are kind of cool. This recipe is really good also. It's Kris's recipe. If you don't know who Kris is, it's my wife. She's a pretty awesome lady. Just celebrated her birthday. And yeah, she's pretty cool. So anyhow, brownies. They're something quick. They're something easy to make. Everybody loves them. If you have kids, this is a great way to introduce your kids to baking. It doesn't absolutely require power tools, like a mixer or a stand mixer or a hand mixer. You can simply use a whisk and a spatula. I'm not even going to break out the big KitchenAid. I'm just going to use a hand mixer and a couple bowls. And I always recommend a scale. Although with brownies, you may not necessarily need one. Like I said, if you have kids that are old enough to hold a whisk, they can make brownies. They're a load of fun. They give you a chance to spend time with your kids. If you have kids or if you're learning, this is an excellent way to learn how to bake. A good starter recipe. This is how Sarah, my middle daughter, she learned how to bake. So I think you'll enjoy these. They're really good. They never last more than a few hours after they've cooled in my house. And I'm sure they won't in yours either. So that being said, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, you're a glutton for punishment, but I love you all the same, and I'm glad you came back. Don't forget to subscribe. It's down here. And right next to the subscribe button is a notification bell. That'll let you know when my videos come out. And I never take your guys' time for granted. I appreciate every second that we spend together, and that you take time out of your busy day to hang out with me and bake or cook, or do something food related at any rate. And I know I still got to show you the garden. We do have it in. The tomatoes and all the peppers are in. I'm looking at building a couple new boxes. I want to put in some green beans and some potatoes and onions this year also. Those two haven't happened yet though, but they're coming soon. Anyhow. The thumbs up, thumbs down, right below me also, the like or dislike. It doesn't bother me either way what you hit or if you hit nothing at all, but I will tell you this. Thumbs up or thumbs down, they tell me, did you like it? Didn't you like it? It also helps to grow our community. The more likes and dislikes I get, the more my videos will start showing on other people's feeds. And our community gets bigger, gets stronger. We can become all good neighbors together. We do have some new subscribers also. Welcome. I am so glad that you came by and wanted to be part of our community. So, that being said, let's get down here to the counter and we'll start making some brownies. All right? I'll be back in 1 second. So, counter, welcome. Everything we need is right here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set our oven to 300 degrees and we're going to get that warming up. Alright, we've got that warming up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab an 8x8 pan. 8x8 pan. And you can either butter the inside of it or just use the spray. Today I got lazy, I just used a spray, a non-stick spray, and put that in there. Something I recommend, but like I said, you don't have to have it for brownies, but it is essential in baking, some cooking, scale. They're cheap, they're easy to use. You can buy them for solids and liquids or just solids. This one's just for solids. But if you bake with me much, you'll know that when I say my liquids, I say them in grams, so that way you know what to do on a dry scale. Alright, the only other things we're going to need for this today are, and I'm sorry for the sound of an airplane in the background if you can hear it, but that's my fan. It is powerfully hot in here. Other tools you're going to need, some form of mixing, whether it be a simple whisk, a hand mixer, or if you got a stand mixer and you want to drag it out, great. You'll need a spatula and a couple of bowls. All right, so that being said, got the recipe right here hanging in front of me. I found that my one kitchen door here holds recipes nicely. I will give you measurements in cups and grams. First thing we're going to need, first bowl. All we're going to do is take our flour. And our flour is just regular old all-purpose flour. Sorry. 2/3 of a cup, 80 grams. We're going to dump that in the bowl. Just like such. And then we're going to add our sugar. Our sugar is 1.5 cups or 300 grams, just plain old ordinary. Put it in your coffee. Throw it on top of your Rice Krispies sugar. I know it sounds like a lot of sugar, but trust me, it works. And then we're going to need to put some cocoa powder. All right, now I'm using a Dutch processed cocoa. It's 100% cocoa. You use what you like. If you like bittersweet, if you like semi-sweet, great. But you don't want to use like a milk chocolate powder. You want to go a little bitter just because you have all this sugar in here. We're going to add vanilla to it and some chocolate chips, and that will make it it'll help balance it basically. So like I said, I'm using 100% Dutch processed cocoa. It's my favorite. It's all I use. It seems to balance well. All right, and I'm sorry, that was 3/4 of a cup or 120 grams. And then the last dry ingredient we're going to need is some salt, 2 grams. Now, you're probably wondering, why do you put salt in baked goods? And you put it on almost all baked goods. Salt, much like in cooking, it enhances the flavor. If you don't put a lot in it, it'll enhance that chocolate. It'll enhance the sugars, the sweetnesses, the bitters, everything that you put into a dish. You'll never taste the salt unless you use a coarse kosher salt. I use a kosher salt. If you get the coarse kind, which is the most common kind in the grocery stores, grind it up. All right, you don't want to leave it coarse. It won't break down all the way in your baking process, and somebody will get a mouthful of salt, or at least a taste of salt. So now we're just going to take our whisk. All right, we're just going to mix those together. Cocoa powder has a tendency to be lumpy. You want to try to get most of those lumps out. If you have a sifter, you could sift this through, and that'll get all your lumps out. But like I said, not necessary. Just give it a good whisk. Okay, got all our dry goods mixed up right there. Looking good, I think. So we're going to set that aside. Next thing we're going to do is work on our wet ingredients. All right, so our wet ingredients are some butter, which it's a stick and a half, 3/4 of a cup, or 170 grams. And we're just going to put that in there. And then we're going to take our hand mixer. I mean, if you want to use your whisk for this, you most certainly can. And we're going to cream this up a little bit. Okay, so we got that mixed up. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but you'll want to have your butter at room temperature. Just like anything else, this also requires some eggs. They'll be at room temperature. But you want all your dairy products, and eggs should almost always be at room temperature, unless the recipe says different. Things like if you're making whipped cream, stuff like that, then you'd want your milk or your heavy cream to be cold. But for the most part, we're just room temperature. So we got our butter is blended, creamed, and it is at room temperature. Next thing we're going to add to this is our eggs, which I've got 3 large eggs, room temperature. Put those in there. We're going to add in 2 teaspoons, 8 grams of vanilla. Throw that in there. And we're going to mix those together. All right, we got that all mixed nicely. Everything's broken up real good, looking good. So the last thing we got to do is take our mix that we have right here and mix it with our dry ingredients. So we'll get that dumped in there, just like such. Make sure I got everything in here so far that we're supposed to. Vanilla, eggs, flour, salt, sugar, butter. Good there. Cocoa powder. Yep, we're down to one last ingredient. We can just take our whisk here and whisk it together. Alright, we got that mixed up. I went ahead and once it got a little thicker, started sticking inside the whisk, I went ahead and switched over to my spatula. But, I mean, there's where we're at, right there. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like some small lumps in there. That's okay. You actually want that. Only because we're not making a cake. We're making brownies. And with brownies, you want some lumps in it. That's not a horrible thing. So the last thing we're going to put into this is 3/4 cup, 100 grams, 120 grams of chocolate chips. All right, now, here's where you can play around with it. Now you can get creative. I have 3/4 of a cup of milk chocolate chips and some white chocolate chips. Why? I mean, A, we like them. B, I had 2 open bags. One was milk chocolate chips, one was white chocolate chips. So I thought, let's use those. You could also toast up some walnuts or some pecans. You could put sprinkles inside this. Anything that you think goes good in a brownie, now's the time to stick it in. So we stick those in, set the bowl down, give those a good mix in there, just like such. All right, got those mixed in. We are in good shape there. Let me scrape that off of there right quick. I tell you, this recipe is so fun. Yeah, I remember when Sarah first learned how to do this. Yeah, you'd have thought she was the king, or queen, in this case, baker of all time, because she made brownies. And they're fun to make. They're easy to make. So now let's get this all off to the side. Move that out of the way. Get you there. Leave you sit right there. Move you. Get you over here. Because counter whipped off here real quick. Y'all didn't tell me I had butter sitting behind the bowl. Now the only thing left to do is get it in our 8x8 pan here and put her in the oven. Alright, so we got them in our 8x8 pan. Now I just use an offset spatula to smooth out the top and get it in there evenly. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can use the back of a spoon, you can use the front of a spoon, you can use a plastic knife, you can even use the back of your spatula here. You know, whatever you have available. So, what are we going to do now? Well, like I said before, we set our oven at 300 degrees, right? We're going to let these bake for 40 to 45 minutes in the oven. All right, and we'll check them. Now, what to look for? They should have a nice, nice kind of a crisp top. You know, to look done or crunchy. You should still be able to put a toothpick through them, and it should come out clean. If it doesn't, then they're not done. The toothpick test pretty much holds true to anything in baking. Yeah, I mean, there's always that one exception, but these brownies aren't one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these in the oven for 40 minutes or 45. I don't know, because we haven't made brownies in this oven since we bought it. So it could be 40, it could be 45, maybe even a little longer. When I get back, we'll take a look at them and talk about what to do next. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so the timer just went off on the oven, so let's go ahead and get the camera turned and we'll get them out of the oven and take a look. All right, on for me. Get you turned down here right quick. There we are. All right. Got that going on. Glove on. Oh, beautiful. Although I don't think they're quite done yet, but we'll look. So there we are. They are still a little jiggly. That's all right. We only put them in for 40 minutes, not 45. Grab our toothpick, put it in the center. Note, see, we're still not quite done in there. Still got goo on it. So, what we'll do is, we'll put these back in the oven for 5 more minutes, and then when I come back, we'll retest them. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so we got them out of the oven. No more jiggle. We are good. That means everything is set, solid, and ready to cool. So, all we have left to do now is just let them cool down a little bit. Sorry for the glare, but my glasses, I gotta see, my eyes are bothering me. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna let this cool down until it's manageable. Brownies are best served warm, but you can let them cool down to room temperature for that matter. So I'm gonna let these cool down for a little bit, maybe a half hour or so, and then when I come back, we'll cut out a piece and give her a try. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, guys, so I'll let it cool for a little bit. It's actually longer than a half hour, but that's all right. So let's get down here and cut us a piece and give it a try. Oh, there we are. Can't have a giant piece, but I'm gonna have a piece all the same. I really want to try them out. The center's still kind of warm, but that's all right. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really like corner pieces. Most of my household doesn't. But I like them all the same. I don't know if you guys, you make your homemade brownies, but that first piece is always a pain in the butt. That's all right. We'll get her out of there. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Oh. Fantastic. All right. Oh, there we are. All the same. Get you some better light there. Whoa. There we go. All right. There is our brownie. I know you're saying, Brian, you could have put it on a plate. I could have, but that's not how we roll in our house. And if I was serving these at a party, I would for sure do that. But let us see where we stand as far as taste and flavor go. Oh. Yeah. I tell you, there's just something about a brownie. They're chocolatey. It's full of flavor. Just full of chocolatey goodness. Sorry. I have a weakness for brownies that is beyond reproach. But this recipe of Kris's is amazing. You must give this a try because, oh, it's beautiful. That's all I can say about it. I don't even know how to describe it other than I guarantee you'll like these brownies. So, I'm going to go share these with the rest of the world. Give this recipe a shot. Tell me what you think. All right? If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. They are a fudgier, they're like this hybrid between a fudge brownie and a cake brownie, and oh, you're gonna make friends. You try this recipe, I guarantee it. Everybody in the neighborhood's gonna just come over to your house all the time and be like, "Did you make brownies? Did you make brownies? Did you make brownies?" Like I said, they don't last more than a few hours in my house. So next week, no clue what we're gonna make, no clue what we're gonna do. But we'll do something. I guarantee it. We'll cook dinner next Wednesday. We'll have a dessert next Thursday. And we'll keep trucking along. So unless something crazy happens, and if it does, I'll let you know. All right, so try these brownies. All right, give a couple to the neighbors, invite some friends over and have them. I love you. Love you very much. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them. You love them very much. Make them some brownies. They'll know how much you love them. It'll be in every bite. I guarantee it. So, till next week, I'll see you then. All right? I love you. Bye.